Good morning and welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you could be the best you ever. And today we're going to be talking to one of the most amazing wellness chiropractors in the world. His name is Dr. Leif Hands. And I've got to tell you, he's such an amazing gentleman. He is one of those guys that just naturally not only lights up the room, I'm sure, when you see him, but what I've also learned, we're Facebook friends, is he has an amazing girlfriend too who loves to take pictures. And I've got to tell you, I've always been excited about that because those are the type of people that live life. Those are the type of people that show up, that really play full out and give the best that they can through not only life, but also giving and serving to our community. So I can't wait for you to not only meet him, but learn amazing ways to flat out save and change your health in your life. And we're going to take a quick commercial break because I can't wait for you to meet Dr. Hands.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages, newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center, at 410-734-4060 and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060 or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality and to have a high quality of life. And today we're talking to one of the most amazing wellness chiropractors in the world. His name is Dr. Leif Hands. Dr. Leif, welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Christman Family Chiropractic.
Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be on the show with you.
You are welcome. So talk to me, how did you end up down the path of being a chiropractor? What led you to that?
Well, that's a good question. I hurt myself in college while racing bikes, and nobody could put me back together. So finally, I was introduced to a chiropractor in Northern Virginia, and she fixed me with her bare hands quickly and effectively, and I was amazed, to the art of not only restoring my health, but doing that with your own hands naturally. I was hooked right away.
Isn't that amazing? Now, when you say your own hands, what do you mean by that?
Well, she literally, just put her hands where it hurt. I hurt my shoulder, I hurt my wrist, and she fixed me without using drugs, without using surgery. So she worked on my neck, my back, and then worked a little bit on my shoulder. And it amazed me that she could do that with such a simple, effective tool.
And what's so interesting is in today's culture, we're being taught through the pharmaceutical company, who spends an estimated $65.5 million a day on advertising, that if you feel good, you're well, and in turn, if you feel bad, you're sick. And so we as a culture are heading towards believing that there's a pill, powder, lotion, drug, shot, or surgery for everything that ails us. And what you're telling me is that the chiropractic adjustment and the body is so powerful that simply taking your hands and using an art and a technique with a philosophy and a science backing it called chiropractic, that you were actually able to heal naturally. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that, yes, absolutely.
And what's amazing is that many people oftentimes don't even understand that. And let's talk a little bit about the adjustment, because that's what occurred, the chiropractic adjustment. And many people miss that the body was made to heal. Talk to me about that. What does that mean, and how do those two correlate?
Well, the adjustment restores the proper functioning of your body, more specifically the nervous system. And when you restore proper functioning, the body itself can live or work at an optimal level. And it's not only just about pain. Granted, a lot of patients come to us because they're in pain, but it's the quality of life. It's being able to live and do the very things that you want to do, so you're not sitting on the sidelines.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and I mean, the second that patients experience that, the light bulb goes on. They get it.
And, I love that, because many people don't realize that you live your life through your central nervous system. It literally was the first organ created when you were conceived. So how important do you think it is to your health? It literally sends signals out to every single organ, tissue, and cell in the body, up to the brain, to the body, and back again. That allows for coordination and healing and adaptation. And what's so interesting is the body's so smart, and I liken it to football. And I know, Dr. Hands, you know a lot about sports, but the spine is there to protect and house that central nervous system. It has two main jobs. It's to protect and preserve the central nervous system and for structural stability. And oftentimes, through the stresses from our lifetime, physical, chemical, and emotional, this slows down and stops the signal out to every single organ, tissue, and cell, and up to the brain and back again. And if the function of your heart is controlled through your nervous system, which it is, and the function of your lungs and your ability to hear me or see me, if that connection isn't fully there, what do you think would happen to your health? What do you think would happen to your quality of life? And Dr. Hands, you are the doctor of quality of life. You are the doctor of restoring that connection. Talk to me about that. When you were adjusted as a young child, and over time you began to see the amazing changes in your health and your vitality, what made you say, this is it, I'm going to actually commit to being a chiropractor? What was that big change for you?
It was a huge change on many levels. Personally, I think I've lived a much higher quality of life, because not only am I aware of what's going on, but I also have to be a role model. We're a teacher as a doctor, so I need to live the life that I'm trying to teach to my patients. And also realizing that I can avoid so many health issues by taking care of my nervous system, by being adjusted, by living a healthy lifestyle. It's helped me avoid so many other problems. And very rarely am I ever missing out on life. I'm not sitting on the sidelines watching other people do things that I wish I was doing.
I love that. And, one of the things I've read over time is when people pass away, when they're in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and one of the last things they begin to tell people is that they wish they would have done blank in their life. And it sounds like to me that you are not only taking care of yourself at such a high level, but you're not going to be one of those people. You're going to be that person that says, you know what, I did this and I did that. And that's so important. Talk to me about your lifestyle, because that's a huge, huge portion of staying well. What do you do to keep yourself healthy and well?
Well, number one, I get adjusted. But also, I exercise on a regular basis. And, it's not about intensity. It's about it's a habit. It's a lifestyle. So even if I can't exercise for an hour, I at least get in a 15-minute walk. And that's important to keep moving. I eat food as close to its normal, its normal form, less packaged, less processed foods. And I just try to have a positive outlook. I like to hang out with friends, laugh a lot, have good conversations, and try to get enough sleep. It's just a balance in life.
Isn't that
wonderful? So that's my approach. And you just, like you touched on it earlier, it's getting out, it's experiencing life. A lot of your health starts in your head, and a good outlook is vitally important.
It's so hugely important. And many people, they don't realize the connection of emotional stress to that central nervous system. Many people that come into our practice over the last 15 years, it's physical, chemical, and emotional stress. It's amazing what occurs when you think thoughts that aren't the best that you could possibly think. It's amazing what happens when you don't have the best people around in your life. The other thing is, all the research is showing and is pointing to, there's a book, it's called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he's one of the first cell biologists, and he literally tells us and shows us that if a cell is left in a petri dish perfectly clean and beautiful, and he says he'd leave for the end of the night, if he comes back the first morning and that cell has mutated, the first thing that he was taught to do was to clean the environment. And so the environments that we're living in, the people we're spending our time around, the thoughts that we're thinking, they're hugely affecting our bodies. Many people will talk to me about genetics. They'll say, oh, well, it's in my genetics, that's why I have this or that's why I have that. And the reality is, Bruce Lipton is showing us that your genetics are like light bulbs with switches that are turned on and off from the choices and decisions you make through your lifestyle. Your epigenetics are turned on and off by the choices and decisions you make through your lifestyle. So, the one thing that I love seeing, and we're Facebook friends, but I love seeing, I clearly can tell your girlfriend takes pictures. And, you guys live life. That's what I love. Tell me a little bit about her, and what is it about taking photos and living that lifestyle that's so exciting? And you also, there's a lot of photos of nature, which there's a huge correlation between two. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, she is an architect. She works for ASG, located in Baltimore. She designs buildings for higher education, and she's on a particular project right now for the University of Maryland, and that's her alma mater, so she's very excited about that. And it amazes me what the philosophy that architects and chiropractors share. They are about maximizing the human potential. So we maximize the human potential through the nervous system and achieving high-quality life. And with her particular firm, they're maximizing human potential through space and interaction.
Oh, wow.
And on the subconscious level. Yeah, we have great conversations over dinner about that, and it's I think that's one of the beautiful things about her.
Isn't that great? And with those photos, with taking picture of art and life, you can tell you guys are not only having fun, but enjoying things. And I think oftentimes that's what's missing in people's lives is, they're coming into our practices, and what's really breaking their health down is the emotional stress. They may say to themselves, oh, well, it was how I was sleeping, or I picked up that box, or, oh, whatever. But the reality is, what is your emotional life like? And
Right.
Is it something that you would love to have and be a part of? Or is it something that you want to change and improve? And I'm not saying that, everybody can change in a matter of a second, but adding things into your life are so important. And Dr. Hans, we're going to start to not only talk about some of your patients or practice members, as I like to call them, and we're going to start to dive into what makes you you? What makes you so unique that people can come into your practice with things that other doctors can't help with? And you begin to see patients that wake up and changes occur that are positive, and their health and their life and quality of life begins to explode and turn on, and they begin to live again. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. I can't wait for us to not only dive into this, but hear Dr. Hans' amazing, amazing changes in people's health and lives.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages, newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center at 410-734-4060, and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060, or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you can be the best you ever. And today we're talking to Dr. Hands. Dr. Hands, welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So, Dr. Hands, talk to me. You know, it's very interesting because you had a patient. Now, you'll begin to learn that I don't like to call patients by that name. If you look up the name in the dictionary, patient means to suffer. And I got to tell you, when you walk into a chiropractor's office, the last thing that I have on my mind is our patients suffering. So I call them practice members because I want to empower them. I want them to function at a high level of health and vitality and quality of life. I want them to have dignity and honor and hope for the future and for their health. And you've had some pretty interesting cases come into your practice. Talk to me about some changes in people's health and how they came into your practice before and what happened after the adjustment and the care that you give them.
Excellent. Well, you know, I had a recent patient who came in with severe neck condition, herniated discs, bulging discs, pain, numbness in her hand and arm. Basically, just a very, not only just pain, she actually learned to live with the pain, which is a problem in itself. But the quality of her life was so low, so depressed. She was no longer spending time with her grandkids, with her kids. Everything she had to do was planned out because she only had so much energy or capability to get things done during the daytime, and that's no way to live. A lot of my patients were referred in, and she was also referred to me by an existing patient, practice member. So, yeah, she came in a little bit skeptical because she has never been to a chiropractor, but, you know, I'm big on education. I do a thorough exam. I let them know what is going on and how I'm going to help them. And when a person knows what is going on and what you're going to do, what your intent is, that settles a lot of their questions or concerns right away. And from there, you know, I do what I do. I give them adjustment. I work on habits in life and give them some simple things to do to turn around their condition and start helping them feel better. And that's pretty common. I see complicated cases pretty frequently every day, basically, as we all do, as all chiropractors do. And to get patients referring other patients in, that, I think, is probably when you know you're doing the right thing.
Isn't that the truth? Because
you're earning their trust.
Yeah, you know that people not only trust you, but they also begin to see that you are an expert and that you're there to help their friends and their family to be better, to lead higher quality of life. You know, we had one of the most amazing, and people that know me have heard this story a million times, but I remember sitting in my husband, Dr. Evan R. Christman's reception area, and I watched this little girl come in who was 3 years old with an oxygen tank and a face mask, and she just commanded the room. And, you know, I watched over about a month and a half of being adjusted by Dr. Evan, I watched her get off that oxygen tank and the face mask disappeared. And this amazing girl began to have such a high quality of life. And I've got to tell you, that's why we do what we do. You know, there's always somebody, some sort of change in somebody's health and life that makes you decide that, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to begin to move forward and empower the world to be even healthier. You know, I know you've been in practice for a long time and you've seen so many people. Are there those gem stories that you've had? You know, are there these changes that you've seen in somebody that stays with you and motivates you to continue to move forward?
Yes, there are plenty of stories like that. And now this recent one I just mentioned, she's actually spending time with her grandkids who are in another state, but she's able to make that drive and spend plenty of time with them. I've had patients come in that have used a crutch for the past 20 years, and then they're on their way to a walker. and they're now walking freely with their own power.
Oh, wow.
And that in itself is huge. Patients who were on the brink of losing their job because they were calling in sick so much. And, and these are people that have, 2 kids at home, have a mortgage, just trying to support life. And they're not worried about losing their job due to their health. So you affect a patient one way, and it might seem small, like able to go to work. But if you think about the wrinkle or the effects it has on the rest of their life, it's huge.
Oh, it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, they're sleeping better. They're doing better. I work a lot with diabetic patients. I'm a type 1 diabetic.
Oh, wow.
I've been diabetic for 23 years, and that's part of the reason why I'm into chiropractic, because I know the benefits of having a high-quality life and how important that is. So how I work with diabetic patients is I keep them running, I keep them functioning, I get them so they can play sports, so they can exercise. And that turns around their mental state. And if they're out there playing sports, they're hanging out with friends, they're able to run, well, then they can manage their blood sugars, they can eat better. And that literally saves their lives. It keeps them healthy and out there in society. So, those are the kind of cases I'm very proud of.
And, many people don't even make the connection of chiropractic and diabetes. And for many, it's a lifestyle. But for many thereafter, it also isn't. Talk to me about how is it so important? I see many people that have diabetes out in the community. I see them eating things that aren't good for themselves. I see them drinking, diet sodas, eating hot dogs, having nachos, eating ice cream. Once in a blue moon, it's okay. But I then start to think to myself, well, what does your food look like on a consistent basis? And how does that affect? And what I mean by this is that there's so many labels out there that say natural, fresh, organic, and yet in reality the food's not good for you at all. Why is it so important for that type of person to not only eat a really great, make great food choices, but also, why is it so vital that they're getting adjusted?
Well, it's so vital they're getting adjusted because, as you mentioned, that's where life started. That was the first part of the body to form. And if the nervous system is not working correctly, the body does not work correctly. So the adjustment maximizes or allows the nervous system to operate at 100%, and therefore the body follows. You can strength train your legs, you can increase the capacity of your lungs, but if your body, if your brain, your nervous system, which touches every cell in your body, is not functioning optimally, you will always be less than optimal health. So that's why it's so important to get adjusted.
Isn't that the truth? And as far as food, why is it important for them to make good food choices?
Well, your body, you are what you eat. And there's some of those sayings that we heard from our grandparents and our parents, and they ring true. And we ourselves are literally made up of the very foods that we eat. So when you put that piece of food in your mouth, that Diet Coke or that Snickers bar, just think that's what you're made of. So it's important to eat good food.
Interesting. So tell me, what's that final message? I mean, what is it that if there was one person that's sitting on that edge of saying, you know what, I think I'm going to go get checked by a chiropractor in my area, but I don't know, what would you say to them that hopefully would empower them to take that next step and just simply walk into that practice or call that practice and set an appointment and begin to change their quality of life and their health?
I would say, are you living the style of life that you want to? And almost everybody says no. So I just let them know we are the safest form of healthcare in the world. And, it's a positive experience. You always leave feeling better, and you're going to function better. And who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want that in their life? Everybody says yes. I think it's a great thing.
Isn't that awesome? And that is the truth. Everybody wants to function at a high level of health and vitality and quality of life. And yet I believe that a lot of people are just starting to wake up to the possibilities that chiropractic may be their answer to changing the direction of their health and their life. There are a lot of wonderful practice members in our practice that have totally changed their life and their health. You know, we're watching people that through being adjusted, their quality of life is raising and it's going through the roof. We're also watching people are beginning to learn and to see the changes that they need to make through food and exercise. And we focus in our practice on the adjustment. That's so vital and important. Yet we're seeing people beginning to change their food, beginning to exercise, and dropping a tremendous amount of weight. A young boy recently, over the last 2 years of seeing us, and his father, Kennedy Krieger, just stated after his last appointment that he no longer has Asperger's through being adjusted, through changing his lifestyle. You know, that's huge. When we're talking about in today's day and age that the CDC states that 1 in 50 children has autism. And you've got to begin to say to yourself, why is that? Is it a lifestyle choice that we're making? Can we do things differently? Can we make better choices and decisions? And my thought is, yes, we can. We all can. Today, I'm going to be at Barely Used Consignment Shop on Main Street in Bel Air, Maryland at 11 o'clock. And I'm going to be doing a workshop. It's called The 3 Secrets to Creating Health Naturally in the new year. And I invite you to not only join me, but to show up. Bring your friends and your families. It's a free event, and it's going to be a half-an-hour talk on how you can be well naturally. And I ask you to invest in yourself. Dr. Hans, talk to me. How can people reach you? Because you have so many wonderful things to offer. You lead such a wonderful life, and you have such a great message. You've helped so many people. How can they find you?
Well, they can find me by calling me at 410-370-0600, or just find me on the internet. And my website address is drlhands, hands.com. And I could be reached that way as well.
That is wonderful.
You asked me earlier about a life-changing story, and I just wanted to share this with you real quick.
Please, go for it.
I had a couple that wanted to renew their vows for their 50th anniversary, and they were going to do this in Ireland at an old church. But they came to me 3 weeks before, and she couldn't walk across the Annapolis Mall.
Oh, wow.
So how was she going to walk across the Irish countryside? And needless to say, they're a little bit concerned. And so she showed up, and I examined her, and I said, let's get you better. Let's do this. And I worked with her closely. They went over to Ireland, and they had a great time. They got back, and her husband comes up to me and says, I couldn't keep up with her.
Oh, my God.
And they're just this cute couple. They loved each other so much, and they always came together as a couple. And it was the sweetest thing to see because, 50 years together, and they just wanted to renew their vows in a church that I guess had some connection to their ancestors, and it was awesome. I love that story.
See, isn't that priceless? I love that story too. Chiropractic, it's about quality of life, it's about health, it's about love, relationships. It's about you being the best you that you can possibly be. Dr. Hans, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. And you're listening in live every single Saturday to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman on WAMD 970 AM, WYRE 810, WKHZ 1460, WJSS 1330. And you can watch me live on KHZTV.com. That's KHZTV.com. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait for you to take great care of your health and get checked by your local wellness chiropractor. Have a great day and take good care of your health.